Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one is sponsored by MarketSmith. Now I spend hours and hours every day on MarketSmith screening for stocks. So as the market is pulling back now, I thought it'd be really great if I showed you guys the screens I am running to find the next big winners and the criteria that go into those screens as well. So obviously the market is pulling back, but I want to identify what are the strongest stocks in the strongest sectors displaying the best relative strength. Why? Because they are most likely going to be the ones which lead the next leg up. Again, this was a huge part of Nicholas Darvis's process, William O'Neill's process. Identify the strongest stocks in the strongest sectors displaying the best relative strength. Okay, I think Darvis used the analogy of a ball being held underneath water, okay, and then it pops back out as the market turns and the wind goes back into the sails. So I'll be showing you all of my different screens that I run, the criteria as well, so you guys can copy that as well and help you find the next big winner. So let's jump on into the video. Okay, so here we are on MarketSmith, and you can see some of the different screens I'm going to be taking you through and showing you the criteria as well. Now, these screens have a heavy focus on earnings, sales, and relative strength. So let me start going through a couple of them so you can get a feel for the type of stocks that I'm identifying and what I then do with them. So you can see I've got my sales, earnings, and margin screen here. So I'm going to open the edit so you can see. So EPS accelerating for the last 3 quarters, sales accelerating for the last 2 quarters, after tax margins accelerating, relative strength above 90, current price above $2, and the 50-day average volume greater than 30. This is obviously in the thousands, so greater than 30,000. You can see that we're screening a database here of nearly 8,500 stocks, and we're whittling it down here to 176. Now, obviously, all of the stocks come down here. Okay, and I like to sort these either in industry groups. I like to see the strongest industry group first, or I will do it in relative strength. But what I actually like to do is I like to compile a master list, okay, because a lot of these stocks are going to appear in multiple screens. Again, I'm trying to cast a very wide net so I can get all of the best opportunities and then go through them individually, okay, and really start filtering down, okay, what are the ones I'm really looking to trade within the next week or two, okay, and they're obviously the ones I'm putting on my watch list. So I'll save these. Okay, I come across here, export, okay, in a CSV file. I'll put them all together. I'll then upload them back into MarketSmith, okay, and run through them, screen them, and identify which ones are looking best to me. So let me go through a couple others here. This is the perfect true market leader. Now, extremely rare you ever have a stock match all of these criteria, so you can pause the video and go through it, okay, but I'm looking for the best of the best stocks, and obviously if a stock meets this is 100 out of 100 screens. So often I'll compare the stocks that I'm looking at, which potentially have very high earnings, very high sales, to a screen like this, and see how many of the criteria are being met. Anything over 80% is extremely good. This is like the perfect stock, so I do keep an eye on that, but it's extremely rare you ever have a stock meet all of these criteria. So going on to some of the big earnings and big sales screens. As they say, I'm screening for big earnings and screening for big sales here as well, as this just catches up again. Kind of a key point here that I want to identify what are the strongest stocks in the market with the biggest earnings or the biggest sales coming through as well. So you can see on this screen here, and the sales will be the same, or obviously just kind of changing the sales. But you can see the relative strength, I want it above 80. When O'Neill did his kind of research of the average relative strength before a stock made a huge move, it was 87. So I'm looking for stocks greater than 80, but ideally they're probably going to be in the 90s, if not above 95. And the accumulation distribution rating, I want that very high. Industry group relative strength rating, again, this is kind of coming from that Darvis and O'Neill point of, okay, what are the strongest sectors, and then can we identify the strongest stocks within those. Earnings per share change last quarter greater than 40%, and the industry group rank, that's 1 to 50, so there are 197 different industry groups. That is basically screening for those in the top 25. Current price above $1, comp rating, so the composite rating which compiles all of MarketSmith's kind of rankings together, I want that greater than 85. Let's look at some of the other ones here. Okay, so let's go for the William O'Neill screen. So here again, we're trying to cast a very wide net. There's going to be multiple stocks within the within the criteria that I'm screening for, but there is going to be overlap. So when I then compile it all together and put it into my master list, okay, it reduces the overlap. So rather than scan through them all here, I like to put them all into that big list, then and then work my way through them. I probably look at, I scan around, it's above 8,000 stocks, if not 9 or 10,000 stocks every day, manually looking at probably anywhere between 1,000 and a couple thousand charts every single day. And that's not to mention also the ones I'm checking on the intraday time frame as well for my positions to see how they're acting. So I'm screening thousands and thousands of stocks, but MarketSmith does make it much easier to focus on the best. That's why I use it every single day, obviously. So this is my William O'Neill, okay, screening here. So we want the earnings per share rating above 80, relative strength rating also above 80, the accumulation distribution rating, we want that A, B or C. Okay, the earnings per share change last quarter greater than 20%, same with the sales, current price greater than $10, and I want to be looking at stocks that are within 15% of their 52-week high. 50-day, okay, average volume, okay, greater than 100,000. Number of funds greater than 5. I want to see that there's some fund ownership there, and in the industry group, we're looking for that to be very, very strong as well. I've got an IPO base screen. Again, I like trading IPO bases when they set up. Planeter was probably my best IPO base trade last year. Go have a look at that one. Perfect work-off wave pattern, as I call it. So I'm looking for relative strength above 85. I'm looking for the industry group relative strength to be very, very strong. Current price greater than $5, and the IPO day from 2019 onwards. Let me show you some other ones that I've got here. My relative strength new high. So our list just loads again. Relative strength is such an important concept. If you can focus on what are the strongest stocks within the market, and preferably trade stocks that have a relative strength of greater than 87, if not in the 80s, ideally actually into the 90s. I think you are gonna be trading much better breakout opportunities. So relative strength new high. Yes, industry group, still want it to be in that strong industry group, very key part as you're seeing of my process, and the relative strength rating greater than 85. Now I'll show you my true market leaders scan and also my breakout opportunity scan. So this is one of the true market leaders scans that I'm looking for here. So I'm looking for the earnings per share rating greater than 80, relative strength rating greater than 85, industry group, again strong industry group, composite rating greater than 85, current price greater than $5. So you can see we're breaking this down from 8,276 stocks to 111 stocks, and obviously they'll all be coming up here. So I can then, if I want to, go through these manually on the chart. Okay, we can see that we've got our highest group relative strength first, and then we can do this, or we can come over here to our industry group ranking as well. Okay, select this, and then we can be going through the strongest ones, and obviously we have all of our data here as well, our relative strength line too. And let's just finish out with the breakout opportunities. Okay, and I also look at some of the other trend templates that are in there, and the growth 250 list is where I do some of my research as well. So again, these all get compiled into a master list, and then I just work through them every single day. Again, I don't want to miss an opportunity. I get very annoyed at myself when I miss an opportunity, so I want to stay on top of all of this. So here is the breakout opportunity. This is a little bit of a wider net. Industry group, still want it strong. Comp rating greater than 85, relative strength rating greater than 80, and I have the MarketSmith Growth 250 list. Okay, if we load this up, this is another one that I'll go through. There's usually more than 250 names on there, but it kind of ebbs and flows with the market as well. But you can see that these will come up here. So we've now got our Growth 250 list. So again, I'll export that. I'll put it all into a master list. Okay, and then I'll screen it all in MarketSmith, going through them bar by bar. Again, putting them all into one list and uploading it avoids any overlap, I find, as well. So just much more efficient use of my time and also your time if you're going to do something similar. So again, when the market pulls back, even when the market isn't pulling back and the market's in an uptrend, okay, I'd really encourage you always try and focus on what are the strongest stocks. Okay, what are the strongest sectors, or actually start the other way around. What are the strongest sectors? What are the strongest stocks? What are those displaying the best relative strength? And also pay attention to the relative strength line. So although this is a relative strength rating of 88, note how the line is actually moving up here. Okay, it's very, very strong. Of course, we'd like this to be as high as possible, but the slope of the relative strength line, okay, in the longer term, slope of the line is very, very important. Obviously, when the relative strength is doing this and making structural, okay, higher lows, as you can see here on this downward sloping line, I'm not going to be interested in trading breakouts like this. There's just so much overhead resistance for the stock to work through. The relative strength isn't confirming it, so they're ones I want to avoid. So hopefully you guys have really enjoyed this video. You've learned a little bit more about MarketSmith, my own kind of screening process as well. There's a link below if you want to go and check out MarketSmith. And if you're new to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe, press the like button if you like these kind of like any of these kind of videos. It really does help me out. And also leave me a comment down below, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.